Hey, we're at the greenhouse, and today we're going to do something really fascinating and really fun. Is that we're big perennial people. We like to grow perennials here, and perennials are plants that come back for you for more than 2 or 3 years. They basically go dormant during the wintertime and come up in the spring, and they flower for you beautifully in the summer. Here in West Texas, in Lubbock, Zone 7A, we know exactly which kind of perennials to grow, and we know exactly ones will perform in the landscape. So that's the ones we're trying to grow. Come on back and we'll show you how we get started. One of the ones we're going to do exciting this year is the perennials, or what a lot of people like to call Texas bluebonnets, and so we're really excited about that. So we're about to pot some up and we'll show you some more. So we got our vegetative cuttings in, liners as some people say. They're basically propagated vegetative cuttings of other plants that we get brought in, that we buy, so we can grow, and then we can also sell to the consumer. We got a lot of cool ones. Here's some Mexican feathergrass. Here's some Texas primrose. Here's one of my favorites, Blackfoot daisies, meloponium, and even this Laura Bush petunia is supposed to be hardy, so we're gonna try that out. If you like ground cover, you got a partial sage. Here's giant catnip ajuga, very, very neat. And one of my favorite ones, Roseanne perennial geranium. Man, this is gonna be really neat. I planted one at my mom's house about 3 years ago, and it battles the evening primrose to death. So there's actually a battle between this and the evening primrose. Evening primrose always wins out, but this guy always kind of sits steady in his corner and comes out beautifully with a nice purple flower against a nice purple, that pink evening primrose, which we're growing right down here. Be easy on this one, guys. Don't know if I would plant it in the flower bed, maybe somewhere in the alley, because it comes back and it's very aggressive. All right, come over here. All right, so here's our bluebonnets. Man, we're pumped about this. Vegetative cuttings, some type of seeds. But these come in vegetative cuttings. You can see that the root stock is down below, and our plant's very healthy and green right on top of here. We're gonna wanna try to grow these in a gallon-sized container. We got some really good, very fine potting soil. We like to use Berger. We usually use the best quality. We use our friend Mary's special little sauce that she likes to put in as a starter. And then we just kind of line up our perennials or our gallons after we fill them up with soil to the very top, because what's gonna happen is once you water them in very, very heavily, the gravity of the water is gonna pull down the soil a little bit, so you'll actually have a bit of a lit container. So our friend here, Misty, hi Misty.
Hi.
She's been working really hard, and you can see that she's done some yarrow moonshine, one of my favorite ones too, continuous bloomer, almost semi-evergreen in West Texas. Has a gray foliage but a beautiful yellow flower. Lovely, always comes back very tough. Here we are. Some people like to do this differently. We like to find this little cool bamboo stake, you know? We try different things like pins and fingers and pulling, but this thing is the funnest one. You just find the right diameter. We kind of turn it upside down and do a little poke. Get your poke out over here, get poked out, get poked, get a little poke, get a little poke. So then we poke those guys out. Put them in our cardboard and we set them down. Remember, we already have Mary's special blend of starter fertilizer in there ready to go. We just want to make sure that this root ball sits ground level, nice and firm. How easy is that? It's real easy. So we got about 72 of these bluebonnets. We're excited about that because we'll be having bluebonnets to sell here for the consumers, and then we'll show you what it looks like in the back grow house. Come on. Hey guys, back here in Greenhouse 1, the hot house, and we're loving it. This is where we're putting all our 1 gallon perennials. We can fit a lot of 1 gallon perennials in here, and we intend to, and we have a large variety here. Anyways, I want to go ahead and show you the process. So these guys, we put them in 1 gallons. These guys are about 2 weeks old. You can see they got a little bit bigger. This is a sage, it's just a ground sage, a gray sage, excuse me. And some people use it as an herb, but I like to use it as a landscaping plant. Here we go with some Shasta daisies. Here's some Jupiter spirit, one of my favorite perennials, Herianthus, beautiful pink blooms. I always like to try to plant it around pools or just sneak it into the perennial garden. If you want something big and white and fluffy and takes a lot of space, here's Artemisia Powell Castle. Watch out guys, it does get about 3 feet by 3 feet, sometimes bigger, but it takes the space up. I like this with evening primrose in an alley. Boom, done, you know? And you can see the process all the way going through here. We've already done all these 1 gallon perennials the other day that we came in for vegetative cuttings. We got a Verbena right here, Homestead Red and Homestead Purple, one of our favorite ones. Here's Caryopsis. Not going to see this perennial here very much. It's sometimes called Jupiter's beard. Is that correct? I don't know, but I know it's called Caryopsis, and it's very great. And then we have lots of Savvy the Gray guys. You can see that they're small and little and insignificant and not much to you. That would look very cool, but this is about 11-week growth. So by the time these gallons have reached a root system all the way to the bottom container and then filled up the size of the pot by 6 inches, they're going to be ready to go by spring and for sale. So we're really excited about it, and it's a great place to grow perennials. Thanks.